Welcome to the Landco podcast. This is the year-round Waterfowl Hunter series, where we dissect the monthly activities of a successful waterfowl hunter. I'm your host and managing partner at Landco, John O'Reilly. All right, guys, welcome back to the Landco podcast. Again, here with Jody Graff. Jody, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So Jody is at one of his, what do you call it, base camp or waterfowl lodge? Where are you?
I'm just south of Swan Lake, a little bitty town called Dean Lake. I got a little camp down here.
Okay.
Shop and a little cabin.
Cool. So I say that because your cell service is probably spotty at best?
Man, a lot of days, if I'm not sitting right up here, you're not going to get a hold of me in this 5-mile square area here.
So be prepared for a little cutting in and out, but we're going to roll with it anyways. So again, this is year-round waterfowl hunter episode 3 covering March. So I know we're into like early April now, but it's been kind of crazy. So we're just now recording this episode in the first week of April. So you know how the format goes, man. We're just going to talk about things that have been going on this last month. So, and again, a lot of times it's different for what Jody does and I do because we're kind of in two different habitats. I mean, we were talking throughout the month, and he's got like tracks on the ground already, working dirt and starting projects, and we're not there yet. So hop into it, man. Tell us the biggest thing or two that's going on over in your area.
Well, last week we were able to break ground and start working up some food plots, some corn that we had planted last year that really needs to be worked down. Started doing a little dirt work again today. I mean, it's been pretty wet the whole month of March, and anyway, it's going to start opening back up a little bit here. So
when did you? These are all plots that were flooded last year.
Yeah.
So when have you? How long have you been dry?
It's still not dry.
Well, I don't mean dry. I mean empty. How long has the cell's been empty?
A couple weeks.
Couple weeks. Okay. Because we're just now. I'm at the tail end, which, as you know, like that's when you really start fighting the beavers. So we're down like to the last 10% of the water, which takes like 50% of the time.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. So we're just exposing this dirt. We're probably minimum 2 weeks behind you.
Yeah.
So when you go in there and mow it all, or is it kind of old and waterlogged enough that you can just disc right through it?
Man, if we can catch a dry day with some low humidity, you can disc through it, and it'll break apart pretty good.
Full up disc, or using like one of those little tillers?
What's that?
Are you using just like a pull behind disc, or using a tiller?
A disc. I don't know, 22-foot.
Okay.
Disc.
So you're talking big area.
I got a new tractor, so I'm playing with it, trying to figure out what I can get away with.
How big of area are you talking?
Like at the 107, we do 65 acres over there that we plant.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Not all of that is in the bottom. I worked some ground the other day for some bean plots and also some sunflower plots up on the hill.
Yeah.
So that's the first ground I've been able to work. I worked at my deer lease last week a little bit too.
Yep.
Got some ground turned over just in time for turkey season.
Nice.
Got a little burning done the last couple of weeks. So like it's just the front end. You know, of the spring season, I think, and it's coming a little later than what I'd hoped. But
is it? Okay. So, like, compared to recent years, I'm pretty happy with where we're at this year.
Yeah.
Last year we just couldn't plant corn in 90% of our stuff. But where we're at this year as opposed to last year, like, we're seeing dirt. I mean, last year we couldn't empty them. Like, we were getting so much rain that they, most of our stuff only had the 12-inch pipes or something. They couldn't keep up with it. So we see dirt right now, which is good for us.
Yeah.
Have you used it? One of those tillers? They're smaller. You know what I'm talking about? Those
rear-time tiller?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use them for fall food plots a lot.
They're awesome, but they're pretty small, so they take a while. So we do it with like our our smaller wetlands. But man, the dirt is beautiful when you're done.
Uh-huh.
So
As long as you're not on the side of a hill.
yeah, stay on the flat stuff.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, we actually, you know what we got yesterday? And oh, did I lose you?
Yeah.
You back?
There you go. Yep, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday we got approved for a nuisance permit for beavers.
Did you?
Yeah. So I'm no longer fighting them with like rakes and fire. I'm gonna try to trap those little bastards.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'll show you some of the stuff that we like. And this is probably more for like our clients than you, but because you can't see this, but most of our wetlands. Let's see if I can push that live. There's a picture of it on there now. Most of our wetlands, we drain either at one outlet or we'll dig like a trench to get the water away from it. I don't know if you do that. And the trenches are probably, let me get us back up here. They're probably 10 foot wide or so. And it was every single night. And I mean, like 3 or 4 foot tall. That's to the point now where, like, even when I tear down all the sticks, there's still like a couple feet of mud.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
man, yeah. So I'll say this about designing wetlands, and I've made this mistake more than once because a lot of times the customer will like want it this way, but we always try to set the top of the outlet pipe at the bottom of grade. So, like, does that make sense? So we'll dig like a little pool in front.
Hmm.
Again, because we're usually on high ground, we're not river stuff, so we're flooding or outlet. The outlet water is going down the lakes, so we have that ability. We'll dig like a little pool. And I mean, like a 20 by 20 little spot, and we'll set the top of our outlet pipe at bottom grade of the wetland, so it's always running full capacity. On a few of them, we like either the client wants it that way, or literally we just don't have that ability. We forget, and we'll put the bottom of the pipe at the bottom of grade, and it just slows down to a crawl. Like, when there's only like an inch left, 2 inches of that pipe on a 12-inch pipe, like you're not running very much water. So
So how many surface acres of your pool are you talking?
that one is about somewhere between 20 and 25.
And how much water is held up on it in the little corner whenever you've got just a few inches left?
Well, I mean, when it's full, we get a full 6 foot that we're draining. But when it gets down to that last like 2 inches, it's at the bottom of the pipe, right? So like if it's a 12-inch vertical pipe, we're only catching like a tiny bit of that pipe. I mean, I bet it equals something like not even a 4-inch tile. I mean, it's draining slow. And you know what? Most wetlands that we see that we don't design, that's how they are. So we drain the first 4 feet. We'll drain in like this particular one, like 2 days, 3 days, and the last 2 inches will take fighting beavers a week. Yeah, so that's where we're at. But we do like when we start to see dirt because I don't know about you, we see things a little differently once it's dried out. Like we can get in there and like look at our, all the subsurface. We can look at all our blinds and see how they held up. So like we did take that time, even though we can't work dirt. Like we're looking at like how they held up. We're looking if any of our pits moved because we use a lot of those steel pits, and they have a tough time holding up in the first year. So we're checking all those. I might be able to pull up a picture of that. So we're coming up with more projects now than we expected we would have. And I got a picture of it up. Just because some of our pits move literally only a foot, we got to dig them all back out and re-level them. We're seeing where we could maybe flood more, so we're trying to figure out like where new blinds go for next year. And we only have been doing that for a couple of days, and I think we're up to like 4 new spots. That's our weakness. We want to flood blinds everywhere. But so we also got our ice heaters out, man. Do you guys run ice heaters down there?
Oh yeah.
On power or on gas?
Most of the time, we got power in a lot of spots, but sometimes we still running generators.
Yeah. Are you pretty good about getting them out right away, or do you wait until everything's drawn down?
Pulled two today.
Okay. It is the muddiest,
Oh,
sloppiest job.
oh
Like all the mud settles over it. So like in the beginning, you're trying to like be clean and organized, and by the end, you're literally just slopping stuff around.
yeah.
I did try to take a picture of that. Oh, there we go. It's it's all that soft silt at the bottom that you like sink down 2 or 3 inches.
Uh-huh.
Oh well. So that's where we are. Have you got all your seed ordered and stuff?
I've got a lot of it.
Yeah, you ordered a lot of it. Not last month. It would have been February, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I've got a little bit of seed left over from last year.
yeah,
We didn't get to plant as much as, we wanted to. And so I held
yeah.
on to some of that stuff. And,
Mostly corn, or what
yeah.
seed you have left
Yeah.
over? We
Um,
always have good luck with second year corn seed, but it always makes me nervous.
Man, it's more resilient than what you think. I mean, I planted some stuff that was 4 years old, and just do a germ test on it. If you have any questions, just do a germ test. Take 100 seeds
Yeah,
and put them in a wet paper towel, throw them in the window, see how many pop. If it's like 70%, I wouldn't plant it. If it's 80%, you know how much you got to plant over in order to get your population.
yeah. Just
Um,
overfeed a little bit.
yeah,
Well, that's cool. I've never even heard of that. I might have to. I think we have a lot of leftover corn too. I might have to do that. Does that work for everything?
man, or germinated Milo seed last year and the beans and just because you always end up with a little grab bag at the end
Oh,
of the
for
year.
sure.
It's like, well, I need to use that up. I need to use that up. And so thinking about spots to put it and anyway, man, some of that stuff gets thrown to the side for a couple of years and you
Yeah.
know,
Well, they usually.
it's almost always still good. Like I had
Yeah.
some beans that germed really poorly, and so we just got rid of them. But
Yeah. Those usually end up in mine. Like I have a hard time planting them for clients, but like I'm like I'll do it in mine. I don't care if it only
yeah,
germinates 70%. But then I end up with like a mix of stuff. And it's like just plant it all. It'll be fine. So we always have like one wetland that's like just a mix of everything,
right,
and it usually looks awful. But you know what? They always find it. They always like it.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so we're there. We've got everything ordered. We're waiting on millet. We have some millet, but we never know how much you need until it gets wetter. So
Mhm.
we don't backstock that because honestly, we don't plant a ton of that if we don't need to.
Yeah,
After talking to you on a lot of these projects, I kind of feel like we need to plant more stuff. But if we can get 100% of our stuff in corn, we usually just do it. I mean, we'll come in and plant some stuff in millet, like the outsides and maybe our shooting holes and stuff. But man, we're corn heavy. It just seems to. First of all, it's what all of our clients want. All of our members, they want to walk through rows of corn.
yeah.
So we just get stuck doing it. But I did um, find a spot or two for the sorghum, so I'm committed, man. You're on the hook now,
Yeah.
and
Well, hopefully you have half the luck that we do.
gosh, that's so crazy. We've had zero luck. Like they fly right over it and land in millet or corn or whatever. But we've only tried it once or twice. And again, we use the white seed. Didn't you say you used a different?
Mm,
Was a
We
different variety?
planted, yeah, we planted some red stuff right next to the yellow stuff. I mean,
Really?
uh, I don't know. They didn't seem to really favor one over the other either.
Man, well, I'm gonna try it. Do you have any luck broadcasting that, or you only drill that? Because I've seen some of those mixes that, and we don't do many mixes. I only ask because I have a new spot that I don't think we're going to be able to disc this year.
Hmm.
It's a new lake that we're lowering, and we have
I
an
think
acre.
as long as you can scratch your ground, like even
Yeah,
if you can harrow them in or anything,
yeah.
it'll help.
Okay.
Uh, Depending on how much rain you get and how hot it is right after. I mean, sitting on top, they could dry out and
Yeah,
burn up before they even have a chance.
because
But if it stays wet,
a lot of those mixes you'll find, like the mossy oak or biologic stuff, Man, they've got a little bit of everything in, like, they'll all have millet,
Mm,
buckwheat, and then they'll, like, have 10% sorghum seed, which seems
yeah,
weird because you don't think of sorghum as a something that would grow in the same conditions as millet, but
yeah,
I'm gonna try it.
yeah.
I'm gonna do one all sorghum, and then I'm gonna do one mix that I think I'm gonna have to cast in the July.
Hmm.
So I'll let you know how it goes, but
Awesome.
looking forward to it. Yeah, the downside, and maybe I should reconsider this because the downside of the one that I'm planting 100% into sorghum is it's a refuge, so we can't hunt it. If for some reason it sells really
Great.
well,
They
what?
they will eat it.
Okay, I'm just saying that like if I call you, I'm like, dude, they're piling in there, and you're like, all right, let's go hunt them. I'm gonna have to be like, well, we can't actually hunt them. It's
Yeah,
a
it's really, yeah,
yeah, it's a refuge, but I'm gonna try it nonetheless.
yeah.
Um, so you got, I know you sent me a video with your skid steer. Let me pull that up. Show everybody. uh, luckily, Ryan runs our skid steer for the most part, but I've seen him doing this multiple times, and he is not a fan when the tracks slip off.
Yeah, well, it's
And,
never in a real convenient spot either.
yeah, it's always like on a hillside or.
The
Uh,
bottom of a creek.
tell me the story about that one.
So it's my deer lease. We've had several heavy rains. This little flat bottom creek, it will silt up on both sides and get kind of hard to cross.
Yeah.
Just steep on both sides. And so I told Alden to run down there and just clean it up. And he called me about 15 minutes later. He's like, "How's your day going?"
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. So it's right in the middle of the creek crossing, right? And so I can't get back there with the tractor and disc.
Yeah.
So we spent all day getting his track back on in the bottom of the creek and finally got out of the way so I could go do about 40 minutes worth of discing
Oh,
before we
perfect.
left that. Yeah.
Perfect. It's not always easy stuff. Well, it's usually not.
Yeah.
You sent me another video. I'm going to try to get it to pull up here. Um, I'll tell you one other thing. I just saw a picture, or I would have forgot about it. We still have a bunch of brush piles from last year's projects that we never burnt. So we probably had the right conditions to do it last weekend. I just never got to it. So I'm going to do that this weekend, I think. So I don't know. We prepped for it. I have all the materials and stuff, but I'll do that this month in April. Um, I'm going to find that video of the trees you were planting
Oh, yeah.
because this is something that I don't do here. Not many guys do. You know what? I'm going to have to do this on my computer. You can start talking about what it is because I'm sure most of my clients are not familiar with this.
Yeah. So we're taking black willow cuttings and sticking them in the ground, planting them. Um, we planted 8,000 or so last week.
Oh man! Oh, let me see. It's a pretty grainy video. I might have to slow it down a little bit.
Sounds like a bad horror film.
Man, I'll tell you what. I'll pause it a few times just so you can see how much material you guys have. So, how many is there before we get into it?
There's probably about 1,000 in the buckets there.
Okay.
Um, we had three guys cutting them down and cutting them into stakes, and four guys planting. And we were averaging about 2,000 a day planting. Um,
Man.
so in 4 days, we did about 8,000 last week, and this week coming up, we're gonna start in tomorrow. We got 7,500 more to do or so.
Oof. Okay. So, tell me what they are again.
Just a black willow tree, and uh, anywhere from, let's say, the size of a golf ball or so down to the size of your pinky finger.
Okay.
We're cutting them into 12-inch lengths, 45-degree angle on the bottom and flat on top, and we're shoving them in the ground. Some places we're doing like a 3x3 grid, and so we're 6 feet wide. We got three rows of trees, and
Okay.
a tree every 3 foot. We're staggering that, so you end up with a tree every foot. We
Okay.
ran a couple of miles like that.
Yeah.
And we got some that are, just single tree, every 3 feet. Some of them are going, a 2 by 2 pattern, and just trying to fit, for each spot, trying to figure out, really what we're after. If it's a visual screen, we're going to plant 3 rows and come back and plant 3 rows again next year.
So why would
But
you explain why you're doing that?
so, some places may be close to a road. Some places where there might be an access point, and you don't want the birds on the refuge seeing what's going on over there. They don't want to, you don't want them to see any
Yeah.
traffic up and down a levee or something like that.
Okay.
Go in and plant these and try to cut it off. You need 15 or 20 feet wide of, a willow every foot, and having, 4 or 5 willows a foot.
To get them bushy enough that it's full, like a visual barrier.
Yeah.
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 So there's no actual like nutritional or wildlife value to them. You're not going to flood any of these.
No, a lot of these are going to be on the edges of the pools.
Okay.
So it will provide some thermal cover, and could harbor some invertebrates too. But its primary objective is to provide some security cover.
Got it. Yeah, we've never done that. And they'll grow. They'll just grow fine, just sticking them in the soil.
Yeah, we stuck a few out behind camp here, and be budding on the side of them. We just stuck
No
them
way,
last week.
man.
So, yeah,
So you don't just go out and cut them off existing willow trees.
yeah. Gotta be careful because we've got sandbar willows and black willows, and some soil types. We're trying some sandbar willows that are down along Missouri River bottom. That's a little sandier soil down there. So trying those down there along with the black willows, but the black willows will prefer more tight dirt, more gumbo esque, than a sandbar willow would, that is looking for something more well drained.
Huh. Well, that's cool. We definitely now saying that probably at my bigger farm, the Hunt Club. There's definitely spots where there's traffic that we try to restrict as much as we can. Because we also can't shut the whole farm down because there's a lot of upland hunting. Some guys are actually still fishing, into early November. And so we try to limit traffic, but that might be a good idea. How tall do those get? Will they?
40 feet. I mean, 30 feet, but in 3 years they may be 15 foot tall.
Yeah. You're not worried about them like being too tall for like geese to like those holes when they're done?
A lot of it's going to be along the perimeters. So on the outside, you can put a goose in a hole, man.
We struggle with that. We can, but it's not. We shoot probably 10 times more up in the field.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a good goose caller, so.
Yeah, I'm not either. I got to take guys that know how to blow a goose call.
That's what I do. So what else are you planting? I mean, that's part of the interest with you guys. You plant a lot wider variety. What else do you have on order that you're putting in?
As far as food plots go, or tree species?
Mostly food.
So most of what we'll do is, corn and milo. Those will be the things that go in early.
Yeah.
Sunflowers will go in pretty early, and then move over to beans after that, and then another later round of milo. As we get later into June.
Yeah.
Maybe even up to the 4th of July or so, depending on we get some places that flood out. So there's like a plan A, B, C, D, and I've got to like S before. But I mean, you always got a backup plan, and depending on how much time you have left, before the first average frost or before you need to start putting water on it, you kind of use the process of elimination. So being flexible helps.
Yeah. You don't do any buckwheat?
Yeah, we'll plant buckwheat the last week of July, beginning of August, right in there.
Man,
Um, ja-
we're probably like mid-July. I should maybe start pushing that a little bit. Hmm. Um, have you ever tried, and it makes sense to me and it looks like it works, I've just never seen, we've tested it. You ever like broadcast millet or buckwheat out into a corn plot that's not quite mature but pretty close where you're not hurting the corn too much?
no, I was thinking about that today though. A lot of times with corn, I will just put on, say 24 ounces of atrazine. I know it's only going to last for so long. And
Yeah,
usually by the time, the corn gets up and the atrazine starts wearing off, the only thing that's going to come up that's going to germinate is going to be wild millet.
yeah,
And so don't do the second chemical application. Let that first round of residual kind of run out.
yep.
And
And that's
then
what we.
you've got, the same thing like what you're talking about, the more dirty corn. It's not going to be so much that it's going to hurt the corn because it's going to be pretty late.
Pretty
But
late. Yep.
same concept.
Yeah.
Uh,
We did it and it looked great. We actually did it last year in one of my personal plots just to test it. And Pudic does it on one of his over there. Um, Same concept is like a lot of his deer plots. He'll go in and broadcast like a something green, biologic or clover or something into it. So we're like, well, let's try it for ducks, and it looked great. Um, we actually did millet and buckwheat, and it looked beautiful. But we couldn't. They didn't seem to prefer that wetland over any other wetland. So. But it looked great, so we'll probably do it again. It was a sloppy, muddy job because then you can't, we didn't
how,
want to.
how'd your buckwheat do in that muddy, sloppy stuff?
Um, Not as good as the millet, obviously, but
Yeah.
again, we had a couple extra bags, and it didn't matter if it only 10% germinated. We were just getting it out there, but it seemed
The
to be
kitchen
good.
sink at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But it seemed to do good in like little spots, little areas. We actually, and you're probably the same, man. I look for things to do for my kids. So like even entertain them for like even 10 minutes is great, like to buy. So I parked the gator in the middle and I gave them each like a little bucket of millet and buckwheat and they walked around and just threw it everywhere. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But it did okay. I'll do it again and I'll send you some pictures. So we'll put it on this. So what else? Anything that I'm missing that's going on now? Are you moving dirt with dozers yet for anything?
Yeah. We had a week there at the end of February that we were able to run.
Well, that's right.
We're going to be able to take off and run this week pretty good.
Okay.
But it's just gonna take some dry weather because we haven't had it for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and
we're not supposed to. At least for us, this next weekend, we're not supposed to have it. I mean, I think we have rain in the forecast for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But again, these wetlands, it doesn't take much to like set you back another 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, especially fighting beavers. I mean,
yes, yeah. But I'm with you. Again, you're probably just 2 weeks ahead of us. I mean, we're planning all of our excavation projects for probably 2 weeks from now. I think we have another wetland we need to build. We need to move 4 or 5 pits, and like Ryan plants a bunch of production stuff, and so that's our priority. Just kind of has to be, at least for our personal stuff. So when that's done, then we'll come do some of our stuff. So we're probably looking at like the end of April to try to start getting all of our early stuff in. But that's actually when I start getting excited. Like this time of year for me is, most people like they wait for the corn to be flooded and it starts to get exciting. Like I kind of like this time too.
Dude, it's springtime. I mean, turkeys, crappie, mushrooms, planting corn. Like this is a great time of year for a whole different set of reasons.
This is it, and you get to like. I feel like what's probably different with you and I and most hunters is we kind of do this. So like shooting a bunch of ducks is super fun, but sometimes I like taking people that have never been, watching them shoot a duck, or like watching a group of my friends shoot ducks, and it's like you get to start to envision that when you start seeing stuff come up, and it gets exciting. It's like, and I imagine it's any landowner, it's like once you start seeing that food come up, or even going in the ground, you start envisioning like what's going to happen in the fall. It's a blast, man.
Yeah.
But equally, it can be frustrating. Like last year when you don't, every time you go out there, it's like, oh man,
Kicked in the seat over and
yes.
over again.
Because then,
Yeah.
like, you're countdown in your head, and you're like, it's okay. I have one more week. If I can get corn in, it'll be good. And it's like that. It's like, oh, if I have 4 more days, and I'm good. And then you go out there for the last, and it's like, no, all right. So now you have to like regroup, and you're envisioning something different. Like you would hope for corn, and like, it won't happen, man. But either way, it's fun. And again, a lot of it is outside of waterfowl. Like getting I love dove hunting, so getting the sunflowers in is awesome.
Yeah.
We've had, well, like, I mean, we're on lockdown, so we've had more fish fries in the last 3 weeks than I've had in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
getting the kids out and doing a little fishing. But next week will probably be a lot busier, and that was also the case on the deer podcast I did with Ryan and Matt. We're like, it's kind of a boring month. But like next month, watch out because that's when like
Yeah.
they don't slow down until season,
Yeah.
which is pretty much the case with us as well.
Yeah. We you find any sheds?
I don't do that, man. Ryan does. Yeah, he's pretty particular about showing people what he gets. But him and Matt both did pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't own a piece of timber right now. Like I probably will when my son gets a little older, but I haven't been in the deer stand since he was born.
Really?
I take him with me most times I hunt, and he's not up for it yet.
Yeah.
He can sit in the duck blind for maybe a couple hours on a good day. If I let him bring a buddy, he can stay for a little longer. So we didn't get out, or I didn't get out to do that, but those guys did. Why'd you find a few?
Yeah, and I just got video last night of one that still got both sides, and so I was curious.
That's what they were saying as well.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
so at least, well, both of them, Matt doesn't have as much land, so he's very particular about when he goes in and what he does. And for anybody listening, there's another podcast doing the same format as we're doing on Waterfowl for whitetail, and they cover all this. But he's got that cutting back link system,
Right.
and a lot of times he won't go in until he sees the deer that he's after drop. And he's saying the same thing. He's like, they're still holding. Which is weird, right?
Yeah.
That particular farm did really good at. His dad shot I think it was a 217 or something this year, and they've got another couple that he thinks might go over 200. Did you see that the podcast we did with the 217-inch deer?
Yeah, that thing is amazing, dude.
Yeah,
we don't get to see
it's
that kind of age structure over here. Like, if you see a 5-year-old deer around, he's like a ghost because a lot of them don't make it to be 5 years old.
Yeah, a lot of areas are like that here too. Fulton County has got a pretty good reputation where landowners in general work together a little bit. So there's pockets throughout the county that just do incredible. And those guys aren't totally after inches. Like you said, they want mature deer. Yeah. Like Ryan shot one this year. Now we're getting off subject, but Ryan shot one this year, and I think it only went, not only, but for him, it went like mid 160s. And
yeah,
I bet 5-6 years ago he would have been pissed. Like I shouldn't have shot that. But this year he was like, you know what? I've seen that deer for I think it was maybe 8 or 9. It was an old deer. It's like I have history with it. It's a mature deer. It's a cool story. He was good with it. So those guys are similar. They're after mature deer, not necessarily inches, but when it both comes together, it's a little more exciting.
Yeah. Man, I was excited just to get a 3-year-old through. I mean, I thought I was really stretching it, but you made it through.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Well, what do we got? Anything big on the books for next year that we can, or next month that we can kind of look forward to?
I'm going to be going out and doing 3 or 4 little consultations. I'm going to mid Iowa next month or later on this month. I got a couple of new projects I'm going to look at down in southern Missouri.
Yeah.
So we'll have some little bit of consulting stuff going on, and hopefully, man, the next time we get together, we're getting ready to put stuff in the ground.
Yeah, see some tractors moving.
Yeah.
Did you ever put a trail camera on any of the beaver dams? I forgot to do that.
No.
I forgot to do that, and I'm hoping that they're all gone within a week. So we might miss that.
Yeah. We're fighting them still. I mean, it's going to be a battle all spring. We're wet enough, so hopefully we can make that happen.
Well, I hope next month I can show some pictures of dead beavers. Yeah. So next, try to get the drone up, and so we can see some of these plots that you're planting.
Yeah. I'll try. I'll do this. Go ahead, man. I'm
losing you a little bit.
Video's jacked up. I can't even see you anymore.
Really? Well, we can wrap it up. So next month will be a lot of like dirt moving, seed in the ground. We might get started on some excavation projects. Sounds like both Jody and I. We'll make some plans on new blinds, so we might get started with that. We usually push that back until it's like 100 degrees and we're left with no choice but to build it in August. But that was it for this month. Anything that you did that I missed?
No, man.
Scouting.
Good. Ready to be back outside. Yeah. We've been working on a damn disc and field cultivator for what seems like weeks.
Yeah.
Every time I go and get parts, I'm like, this is the last time I'm coming in here to get parts. It's like a plumbing project.
It's the worst. So we're fully set up and ready to go, and we're like, we don't need anything. But like, you're right. Within like 2 days, we'll need a pile of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, let's try to do it. Now we're in the beginning of April, so maybe like 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the latest. We'll do it on April, and it'll be a little more hopefully action packed.
All right.
All right. Cool. Thanks for joining us, man.